Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back with a match reaction. Made tough work of that one. It should have been 4 or 5. Should have been 4 or 5 today, but we get the 3 points today. We'll talk about it in the reaction, of course. Leeds United win the game 2-1 versus Plymouth to keep up the pace on the top two. We'll get into it in just a moment. Before I do, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and of course, drop your comments below. And yes, and thank you. I didn't get the name of the new member, but thank you for joining the membership. They are in the description if you want to help. They just help out a lot for myself and the channel. Much appreciated, guys, and thank you to existing members too. Martin R here saying last 5 minutes sweating over a game that should have been over and won. Awful finishing, done us again. AFV saying should have been over at half time. KG the goal, yeah. Well, we'll see. Captain Elwood saying made that difficult at the end. Yep, we did. It's one of those things, and as I was watching the game, it just reminded me of a comment that I got recently about me wanting Jed Spence so much in this team, and it seems like a funny time to bring up Jed Spence, but it's because at the times when we are dominating like we did in the first half against Plymouth, who looked like they were running out of ideas. They didn't sit back at first, but after the second goal went in, you could see they started to try and shut up shop. But someone like Jed Spence just adds a different dynamic. And all these 2-0s that, well, turned into 2-1, but these turn into 3, 4, 5s with someone like him in this team. So that's the reason why it's so important that we get Jed Spence in as soon as possible. Let's have a look. Pellegrino saying, where was the captaincy urging us to get on it? Horrible watch. Listen, the leader at the back today was Joe Rodon. He was absolutely magnificent. He was absolutely magnificent. And that is, I mean, go back to the video I've recently done about Joe Rodon. If he's the one that's out the team, it's completely different story with this defense. It's a completely different story. I think it's quite clear we need to invest in a centre back in January. Because we can't have this, especially with the news of, you know what, brings me on perfectly. Segue King. Pascal here, you know, who's recently gone in for surgery. Message here, the past few weeks I've been giving my all despite an injury that's been bothering me for a while. I decided to wait as long as possible to undergo surgery to contribute as much as I could in the recent games. In the coming period, I will be working hard as possible to be back as soon as possible. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, we need that, because you could see the difference, you know, and this isn't, there's nothing overly, you know, critical, but it's quite clear. And we're only playing Plymouth at home as well, which is the worrying thing. But there was a couple of times in the first half where Rodon had to clear up because Whitaker got in behind Cooper. I think it was 2 times. And then obviously in the second half, once Firpo came on next to Cooper, I don't know about you, but it gave me bad flashbacks to the Premier League. And it looked like a goal where you conceded so many times in the Premier League, where they just go down the side, whip a ball in and a tap in down that left-hand side. And it's like, it's bad. But listen, shooting Firpo a little bit of bail. It is his first appearance in months, so he is very, very rusty. But still, the result was pretty much the same that we've seen before. Ben here saying, all right, KG, annoyed with how we had to scramble around at the end there. Should have been 3 or 4, but at that point we should have been. And that's the feeling I got halfway through the second half. I felt like we got complacent, much like Daniel Farke was talking about in the press conference about saying we cannot be complacent. We must feel like every game is a big game or we're not going to win it. I feel like the players got a little bit complacent in the second half, because it was easy up to a certain point. It was easy. Plymouth weren't in the game pretty much. I mean, was that like first, second attack properly in the second half, and they get a goal. So, and that's the danger that we have. And yeah. Let's have a look. Clean sheet, please, saying that was an easy win. Watch that back without the emotions, and you'll see we cruise. What emotions? You always come in with these funny comments. Clean sheet, please. I'm not, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Allison made hard work of that. Yeah, definitely made hard work of it. It shouldn't have been a 2-1 game, Allison and everyone else. It should have been a clean sheet and maybe 4 goals. But that's what happens sometimes when, you know, like Jorginho today. See, Jorginho, it was a weird game for him today because his finishing was atrocious today, but it was the play behind the finishing that was so good with him. And that one particular pass where he flicked it up and onto Joel Perot's head was absolutely majestic. I love that stuff. But his finishing could do with a little bit of work, people. Could do with a bit of work. But listen, it hasn't hurt us today. And even in Jorginho's, I would say that's probably a 6 out of 10 performance for Jorginho. He's still a danger on the pitch. And that's what you get in this division. Liam saying here, thanks for the super chat, Liam. Wasteful, but who cares? A win is a win. Winning scrappy games is what makes champions champions. Yeah, it is, Liam. But you can still dissect the game and think that we could have been putting Plymouth away here very comfortably. But yeah, 3 points is all you need, as you've seen today with Leicester's result. But yeah, shout out to you, Liam, and thank you for that. William Morrison saying need that killer instinct. Yeah, just need to just be more efficient with our chances, created. I think again we're in the double digits for chances created, shots on goal, but on target, I don't think it reached double figures. John Knox here saying, "Yeah, we need Byram to be okay and back quickly." Let's just get into the team. Byram today was all over the place and in a good way. You know me, guys, I don't like the heat maps. I think the heat map is just pure hype because what did you do behind the heat map? But Byram today, he was all over the place, creating stuff, linking play. He was defending well as well. I thought he was brilliant up until he got hurt. And I know that they took him off. I know he was fighting it, hoping to not come off. But I think it's for the best, with his injury history that he came off. I thought he was brilliant today. There was a lot, especially in the first half. Yeah, he did, Tommy. He wanted to stay on. He was fighting to stay on. But I think in the long term, he'll know that's the best thing for him. Who else was good today? I've already spoken about Joe Rodon, probably mention him again. Glenn Kamara, yet again, people. Even in the second half when we started to slack off, it's like anytime he's got the ball, he doesn't waste the movement. He doesn't waste the pass. He can get stuck in as well, and he had to with Plymouth today. I mean, their one player in particular, Edwards, and this is me thinking because I'm in a bit of a weird space right now, I must say, but I'm looking at their number 8 Edwards and looking at our number 8 Kamara and thinking, man, if we don't get out of this league in a couple years when the PNS has to close and we have to sell assets, if we're still here, we're going to end up with a player like that, and I don't want to go back to those days, people. So please. Let's get on this promotion train this season and get out of here, because if we swap our silky, beautiful, technical Kamara and have to end up because of PNS with Edwards, yeah, we're back in the doldrums, people. But yeah, Glenn Kamara today was absolutely wonderful. Scott Lightning bringing up Archie Gray. Yeah, he was getting some license to go forward as well. He's playing that right back yet again today. But because we had so much of the ball, especially in the first half, he was being able to push up into midfield and get on the edge of the box at times. So yeah, he was good again. Look, Archie Gray is Archie Gray. There's a reason why there's made up rumors now of a 40 million bid coming from Liverpool. I don't believe it. I didn't see anyone else reputable talking about it except for that guy from that paper. Until that it gains steam, then I'll probably talk about it. But it wouldn't be a surprise that bigger clubs are looking at him. He's a young talent and he's doing well at Leeds United. And what happens, young talent doing well at Leeds United, usually those big clubs, when we're in this league, pick us off. So, but I don't think there's anything to it until I see something more concrete. Yeah, Bobs is saying Edwards should have been off. Let me just see if I can get back up. No, sorry, Bobby, Edwards should have been off. It was ridiculous. Joe Rodon did well. He saw that tackle coming, but he had no intention of getting the ball, and that's why Joe Rodon kind of rode that challenge. And then he was getting mad at, was it Firpo? Yeah, Firpo was trying to get in between him and Rodon. He's just trying to be that championship, like meat and potatoes midfielder. It's so ugly. Honestly, I do not like this league of football, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We saw the Leicester Leeds game. That looked more like a Premier League game. It looked more with the quality, the tactical side to it. This today, Plymouth, pure championship, I'm afraid. And that's what we're going to get for a lot of games. Let me just get into super chats here. Lord Shia Garaf is saying shooting practice for Rutter. Yeah, he needs a bit. And Mr. P saying, why do we have to make things so difficult? It's Leeds United. It's the Leeds United. Bob's here saying, evening, Cage, you're not the best second half, but another 3 points. I thought we were guilty of overplaying at times. Yeah, we 100% were. 100%. I mean, you even saw when Somerville, got to mention him. creative force today was looking good. Again, his shooting wasn't the greatest today. I mean, that one was offside. It doesn't matter, I guess, but you would expect him just to tuck it in anyway, just in case. But he was good. But even between him and Jorginho linking up, good stuff. But then when they were missing, it was like we'll get him next time kind of thing. And you need to make sure that you kill these teams off so they don't even have a hope when they get that goal. There shouldn't have been any hope, but Plymouth did have hope up until the final whistle. But yeah, Somerville was great. Joe Perot, as I said in the preview, got himself on the score sheet. I had a feeling he'd get on the score sheet in this one. Could have maybe had another one too if his shooting boots were a bit firmer. But yeah, nice to see Joel Perot get back on the score sheet. And I think he linked up play pretty well today. Again, saw him beyond our halfway, in our own half at times, which, it made me think, that's Harry Kane's job, but you're not quite Harry Kane. But I get it. He's being used as a link up, him and Jorginho interchanging. But yeah, I thought Joel Perot was pretty good today. And who else? Of course, how can we forget people? The Dan James prop machine goes on, and not only does it go on today, he's got our 6,000 league goal. Is that if I'm correct? That's 6,000 league goals for Leeds United, and Dan James has got it. So there you go. He goes into a little bit more Leeds history, but I thought Dan James was pretty good in the first half in particular. A couple of the penalty shouts. I think Jorginho needs to. He's going to have his card marked in this league. He needs to just be a bit stronger in the box because he's not going to get those decisions. And I got to say, if we were to get those penalties against us, what Jorginho was going down for, I'd be pretty miffed. So I think, there is somewhere he's being leaned on, all kind of thing. But this is the Championship. You're not going to get that. I did, however, think Ampadu was lucky to get away with that one. I think that was a stone wall pen. Let me listen. You probably got your Leeds glasses on and everything else. Fair enough. But I think Ampadu was very, very lucky. He clearly took the guy out. But the thing is, it felt like we was the big dogs in this one. The referee didn't want the problems. Now you know how Man United and Liverpool fans feel, when they're at their grounds and nothing ever given against them. Yeah, Damar, yeah, Dan James, yeah, nicely done. You see that's the composure that people always, criticize him for not having, but that was good stuff today. And even in some of his crosses, if there was, just a little bit more pressure in the box, a few more runners in the box, I think he would have possibly got an assist as well today. But I thought he was good, man. That's what I'm saying. You can't drop Dan James from this team. You just can't. He's being effective. Darren here saying Ampadu got lucky. The ball rolled to the side as though he tackled it. Yeah. He did. He got. Listen, and there's nothing wrong with that. Look, we've been, we haven't had penalties ourselves. This time we get away with one. It happens. It swings and roundabouts. Isaac here. Shout out to you, Isaac. Hello to you. I thought that too. Alex, referee was poor. I felt like he looked a little bit overwhelmed by it. I felt like he looked a little bit overwhelmed by being in the Elland Road Stadium today. But listen, it worked to our advantage, I gotta say. John is saying miss Strout's progression today. We did miss him next to Rodon today, but Rodon was, man, he was pulling it all together. And did you see? I mean, when the goal was conceded, by the way, Rodon is here on loan. He's there shouting at the players around him. He's shouting at Cooper. I think he might shout at Ampadu, maybe. But this is a real man at the back. And I absolutely love him. I cannot wait. I hope we do sign him permanently. I really do. I think he's absolutely top notch. Absolutely, John. He is a beast. He is a beast indeed. Let me just see here. Yep, Greenwood. Yeah, Sam Greenwood. But let me just get into that. Okay, here we are. So this is what people are talking about here. Sam Greenwood has done the business out on loan again, and I've seen some people in there. Would you give him? No, I wouldn't give him a new contract. I hope that he gets a move to Middlesbrough. Keep on doing what you're doing, Sam. But it's not going to work out for him here. But yeah, Leicester City again losing another game. I think the gap now is 8 points between everybody. Let me just check here, people. And while I'm getting the table up, please hit a like on the video. Truly, it is the best way to help the channel out. Just makes it more visible. So please do that if you haven't already. Here we go. So yeah, here we are. Leicester City now. Woo! Oh, the jacket's starting to get a little dirty. But now look at that. It doesn't look so bad. Ipswich came back from 1-0 down today. I know, and then they blitzed. I think it was Swansea. So yeah, Ipswich won today. Leicester lost. We've won. The gap is now 8 points between both first and second. Darren saying Leicester no longer invincible. We derailed them. Yeah, I mean, look, it's sometimes it's about momentum. But Middlesbrough away is a tough game. In all fairness, if we're being truthful, it would have been better if it was against one of the lesser teams. You're thinking, maybe. But Middlesbrough, a decent team, decent, I would say. But yeah, Leicester, we're in it. All we have to do is keep doing what we're doing. Now, listen, we can complain that we didn't score 4 or 5 goals today, but the fact of the matter is we've come out with 3 points, and now we're just 8 points away from them, and that is the main thing. Helvet is saying, got 2 weeks to get players fit and need to absolutely batter Rotherham. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's get a couple of these players back. Let's hope Byram's good. I don't want to see the Firpo Cooper left hand side. I just don't. And if it sounds horrible to people, so be it. I just don't want to see it. I've already made the case already about Sam Byram being the left back, unless we invest in one in January. Because I think Byram today, you saw him being inverted today. He was threading balls through the box. He was getting forward, trying to get some shots in as well. Now we don't actually need Firpo to start games. Just got to keep Byram fit at this stage. But a Firpo Cooper combo at that on that left hand side, nah, not for me, bro. Not for me. Uh, no chance. It gave me bad memories. I'm sure Melier had flashbacks too. Uh, Bob saying here, love how Rodon reads the game and knows where he's heading the ball to a teammate. Cooper just aimlessly heads into their midfield. Yeah, and again, I don't think it's even too much on Cooper now. I think I was looking at him in the first half in particular, when I think it was Whitaker did him for pace a couple times. It looked like he almost had the face of, "Whew, man, I'm having trouble here keeping up." It felt like that. And even when you think about the whole kerfuffle with Edwards and Rodon, that was on the left hand side. What was Rodon doing all the way out there? Where was our left centre back on that side? You know what I mean? It's Yeah. There's just too many. The drop off is incredible when a couple of these players come out of the team. It's incredible. Um, yeah, a lot of love for Rodon. Yeah, lot of love for him. Mr. P here saying first game back, I know, but Furpo and Coops give me the jitters. Yeah, I hear you. I can take one. I can take one out of the two possibly playing, but if you see two of them, that's half of a calamity defense. It really is. I think that they need guidance. I think they need guidance at this stage, and more so at Liam Cooper's age and his fitness more than anything. I think they need help, and they do not help each other. They never have. They never have looked good together on that left hand side. I know we're talking Premier League, but they've always looked shocking together. Yeah, Marcus Celtic saying a win makes the international break so much better. 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a feeling we'd win. I know it was getting dicey towards the end, but I did say in the preview, I know that we would. This is a game where in previous years we've beaten Leicester away. It's Plymouth at home. It's a short game, should win, and then we hit a curveball 1-0 Plymouth. But I just had a feeling we get the job done today, and we made it harder, but we did get it done. Demar, I was going to say this. I'd rather Firpo over Cooper, but put Cresswell in there. I will only say about Cresswell not starting today. I get it. I know people are a bit upset, but he was out with personal reasons this week, and maybe he hasn't trained enough to be in the team today. And that's my only reasoning behind it. I think that maybe he hasn't trained enough, and maybe he's not ready completely yet. Maybe it was purely in case anyone gets hurt, then maybe he could come on. Maybe he wasn't ready. We don't know what his personal circumstances are, but listen, if your head's not in it or whatever it may be, I think it was probably the right decision to play Cooper. And I'm not just saying that in hindsight. I was saying it before the game as well. So, you know. Let me see. Harvey here saying the scorelines need to be better in games like this where we dominate from now on, because it's going to cost us big time eventually. Yeah, it could have been sticky at the end. Could have been very, very sticky. You saw the crowd was getting a little bit nervy. Some of the passes were going a little bit astray. It does get nervy at Elland Road when the score gets tight. If you've been in there when it's happened, you'll know, and it's a weird atmosphere. But yeah, listen, they hung on in the end, and we've come out with 2 points. Bob's here saying they were struggling against an average team, would have nightmares with them against a top side. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Plymouth, with all due respect to Plymouth, I mean, they weren't good today. they weren't good at all today for me. I know that they had that burst towards the end, but I feel like we handled them very well, especially at 2-0. And that's probably why the players got complacent. They probably thought it was going to be a cakewalk today. Um, let's have a look. James Tyree, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Jorginho doesn't score a lot, but the amount of attention he gets from other teams opens up space for his teammates. Correct. Multiple times there was 3 or 4 players trying to stop him. Yeah, 100%, James. And that's why I mentioned with Jorginho today, it's such a mixed bag for him because when it comes to finishing, it was an atrocious game for him. But when it comes to his creative work, making space for others, there's probably no one better in the league. I think players know just how dangerous he is. And that is why he gets so much attention. Much like Somerville, he's always getting doubled up, which leaves a copious amount of space for other people. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jorginho didn't have an outstanding game today, but he was still decent enough in this game. You know what I mean? He created a lot in this game today. But yeah, shout out to you. Joe Senior, if Georgie could shoot, he'd be playing for Barcelona. Liam here saying, shout out to you, Liam, again. Top 2, feeling it, man. Yeah, I mean, look, I know Ipswich had to come back from 1-0 down, but we're breathing down their necks. And when you see, it's just certain players in our team that give me so much confidence. Kamara being one of the main ones. Now, Ampadu will always be, and I don't want to disregard him today, but Kamara is just so good. When you're talking about a technical player, I don't want to liken him to Basuma because it's different levels, but he reminds me of Basuma in the way that he's press resistant, doesn't lose the ball, loves to get stuck in a tackle. And by the way, it was his hounding for the first goal that allowed Dan James to score. You know, Jorginho goes down and Kamara hustles the Plymouth defender into a mistake. Then it goes to Dan James and he puts it in the corner. That's from Kamara pressing from the front. That is what you do as a box-to-box midfielder. If you're going to have a good heat map with you all over the gaff, do something with it. And that is what he's doing compared to other heat map merchants in the past, where they're just running around looking busy. And then people go, oh, he's worked hard. He's worked hard. But they don't do nothing with it. Kamara is efficient, man. I absolutely love watching him play. I think he's absolutely stunning. Honestly, stunning. Love the guy. Big shout, John. Somerville is better than Messi. Okay, man. Big shout. Bob saying here, Ipswich team is average, just full of hardworking League One players. Listen, Bobs, I won't disagree, but you know what? More than anything, what can happen when you've got a good coach, which they seemingly have it under Kieran McKenna. What we did under Bielsa, look, when you look at our team that went up, that was nothing to write home about, if you're being real. But a coach can take you there, and it looks like Kieran McKenna's got the magic, and they're doing well so far. You know, you don't get this far in the league after 16 games without being a little bit decent. So fair play to him. Although we did beat him away. You know what I mean? Liam here, Kamara is a wizard. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Vega here saying we were lackadaisical in the second half and almost cost us, but not really. Fair play to Plymouth. They wouldn't go down without a win. But yeah, sure, yeah, fighting spirit, hype and all that and stuff. But we should have taken care of these boys. Should have taken care of them. And listen, we're still undefeated at home. That's another thing as well. Elland Road is still a fortress, still our fort. No one's penetrated it yet. We are, that is our place. That is our palace, and no one can beat us there at this current time. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's so nice when you consider the past few years we've had where we're available for any and everyone. But now people come to Elland Road and it's like they think that they want to get the big scalp, but they're hoping that they can just escape with a point. Love it. Yeah. Bob's just saying here, just added that their coach is decent. No problem, Bob's. Elmi just asking, when will Creswell be given a chance, please? Well, I'm not really. I've already mentioned Creswell already, but the other one I wanted to highlight as well from this lineup in particular is the subs. It's this here. I mean, I know social media posts don't mean anything and it's just training pictures, but why are we seeing Mateo Joseph in the training pictures if he's not even going to get on the bench? I don't understand that. And there's no harm. Mateo Joseph in this kind of game with the amount of chances we created, I think he's bagging. I do. The way that the guy finishes, the tuck shop is always open. I feel like he would have probably bagged in this game. And it's just a shame that we're not seeing Mateo Joseph. I hope after the international break, he's going to be fitter. I know he's just come back from an injury. I hope we see him in this team. I hope that he can make the bench at some times. But yeah, it is what it is right now. And Elmi still with the Creswell. I don't know Elmi. You'll have to ask Daniel Farker. I have no idea. But like I said earlier, he did have a personal issue this week and he wasn't training much. So maybe that's why he didn't play. Um, Yep, Tim just saying he agrees about Joseph. Yeah, shout out to you. Any Dan James love today, people? Robbie here saying like our goal difference, cagey, not too early to mention it. Let's have a look together. Yeah, 27 scored, 16 against, goal difference 11. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice to be in the pluses. Couple tough years. It's nice to be in the pluses. I will say that. But yeah, let's keep it up, man. Let's keep it that way. I want to see it too, Bubs. I want to see it too. Ian here saying, and I'm interested to get other people's thoughts here. Thought the subs were wrong today. Should have kept Somerville on. Anthony adds nothing. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is something I mentioned before, and let me choose my words carefully because someone nitpicked my words before, even though it's quite clear what I was saying. But that's why I'm saying with Jaden Anthony is he's on loan here, and he's not the best winger we have, so he has to accept the bench role. You know what I mean? It's not one of those cases where he's come in on loan and he's the best player in that position. He's actually probably the worst when you compare to all of the others. So he has to accept that role. But at the moment, it all looks a little bit samey with Jane Anthony. I know he's done okay, but he seems to do the same kind of trick every time, and it's not always coming off for him. But yeah, I think maybe it was planned substitute. Maybe Ian, I don't know. Maybe Somerville was due to come off. Because he is managing that injury. I think that Daniel Farker mentioned a week or 2 weeks ago. So maybe it was always planned, but it isn't a bad. I will say though, it's not bad seeing Nonto and Jane Anthony come on for both Dan James and Somerville. The quality is down there and the efficiency is down, but it's not bad subs. It could be worse. Could be worse. Louis though saying Anthony is good. Fair dues, man. Um, I mean, Scott here saying Anthony was decent when he came on. Let's not pretend he wasn't. I I mean, maybe I saw it differently, Scott, but I didn't see anything that wowed me when he came on a sub. But fair. Everyone sees football differently, man. James is saying there he didn't mind the subs. Yeah. Bob's here. Do you think Paveda will leave? Only seemed to play at the start of the season when we hadn't signed anyone. And also, he did pick up that injury, Bobs. But I did say at the time, and you guys were getting so excited about Jan Paveda. Saw people saying he could be the new Pablo. I was like, oh my lord. People got gassed to the max. But look, he's not going to play here when everyone is fit. He's just not. It was, but the thing is, that should be obvious to anybody. It should be obvious to anyone. The guy's literally been out on loan to Blackburn and Blackpool, and he thought he was going to come back in the team with Somerville, Perot, Rutter, and everyone else, Nanto included, and get some kind of playing time. It's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. But yeah, if he goes, he goes. One of those. If he dies, he dies. You know, one of those. Um, yeah, Mr. Anthropy, I will kind of agree with this. When Krieg goes off, we look clueless up top. We definitely he's the best attacker we have at this point in time. It's a toss-up between him and Jorginho, but the way that Somerville keeps the ball, the way that he creates space, the way that he dribbles into in between tight spaces. Listen, he's on another level at this point in time compared to everyone around him. Um Let's have a look. Lord Sheer Gorath. I always have a problem with that one. I thought Nanto Ferrota was a better sub, to be honest. Give him a crack at the 10 spot behind Perot. Okay. Michael Pollard also having issues with the subs here. Farcast to sort out the sub timing and the bench. Christmas games are very congested and we need the energy levels maintained. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, man. But even at that time when he started to make changes, we had gone off the boil a little bit. I think that we went into complacency at that point, and maybe you thought that some fresh legs and people with something to prove would improve the team and probably improve the scoreline as well to give us that third to make it real comfortable. I'm only guessing there. I'm only guessing. Um, so look. Yeah, more love for Archie here. I thought Archie was good. He can twist and turn out of pressure. Yeah, listen, I'm probably underplaying Archie Gray because I'm waxing lyrical about Joe Rodon and Kamara. But yeah, I don't want to get into that territory where we just take him for granted kind of thing. But yeah, just for thinking about him being 17, I've always said though, man, if you're good enough, you're old enough, you can play. And he's certainly doing that. And he's doing it at that right back spot. I'm sure he would prefer to stay in centre midfield. And maybe that will come once Jed Spence is back. But yeah, irrepressible again. Love Archie Gray. Continue doing what you're doing. His development here it's been beautiful to see, hasn't it? Um Gail just saying it did look complacent. Yeah. Johnny Peacock here saying it's nice to beat a lesser team. We would have struggled against them previously. Yeah, I hear you. Ian though saying I didn't think Firpo was that bad today. He will improve as well with more minutes. That's what I'm saying. Ian, even though I don't want to see the Cooper Firpo combo ever again, it is his first, like, what is it, half an hour in how many months? He didn't even do preseason, did he? I don't think so. He hasn't played football for a lot of time, and that is the bail I'm giving him. Going forward, he looked decent. Probably could have put his head up a little bit more for the cutbacks just to see where people were. But yeah, maybe it will improve in time. But for me, I'm just going to say it now. He does not get ahead of Sam Byram for me in this team if Sam Byram is fit. I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but that is just how I see it. Let me just see if there's anything else here. Gonna exit pretty soon, people. Well, the Plymouth coach has spoken. Let me just get his comments up. Is that showing? It is showing. Thank you. Uh, he was Tim. Yeah, give Perot some love, man. Yeah, nice, like it. Yusuf here, just on Furpo, just before we move on. To be honest, I like Furpo in the champ, but he needs match fitness. We'll see. We'll see how he gets on, man. Schumacher, Plymouth manager, thought they were good in the first half and were punished for two mistakes. Felt they should have had a penalty for the Ampadu challenge. Well, I agree with you, Schumacher. I definitely agree, man. We got away with one. The whole performance, I didn't think there was a whole lot wrong with it. Another big call has gone against us at another big ground, and that seems to happen every week. Didn't think the challenge on Rutter was a penalty. And you see, you know what? We can clown him for that, but I'm not going to, because we felt that when we've gone to the Premier League and we're little Leeds this time. We're not the best, one of the best teams in England anymore, Leeds United. And it's tough, man. It's tough. The Arsenal game where Bamford gets a goal disallowed for a tussle with the defender, and it was 50-50. It's tough. It is tough, and I can imagine how he's feeling. Plymouth are in the best of form. Maybe he's got a point, but look, we'll have to take it this time. Apologies to the Plymouth fans that may watch this. Apologies. Uh, let's have a look. What's everyone saying? Yeah, Lord is saying here, Rodon man of the match today for me anyway. Yeah, who would be your man of the match today? I'm tempted. You know what? I think I'm with you, Lord. I think with what he had to cope with today, with a new defensive partner, and the players around him in particular, I think that he marshaled it very well. I know we didn't escape with a clean sheet, but that's not on him. He kept that score down. His interceptions today, by the way, people, Joe Rodon, incredible, absolutely incredible. Joe Senior here saying Kamara for me. Okay. I'm Drill saying Perot man of the match. Any other shouts? Honestly, you guys, let Greenwood get on with what he's doing at Middlesbrough. Seriously, he's not going to be good for Leeds United. Like, let it go. God. Karen here saying Rodon for me. Yeah. Mr. Ripper, always have to miss out that S, as you know. Kamara was massive again. Absolutely brilliant. Darren here as well. Rodon shouts. Yeah. Vega, Kamara. It looks like it's between Kamara and Rodon and one Joel Perot shout. Yeah. Rodon top class. Yeah. Rodon, yeah. Kamara, Rodon, yeah. I guess that's the consensus. Yeah. Oh man, love to see it, man. I love to see it, and it's nice just to have players that you enjoy having in your team again. That's what I would say. Let me just see if any Farker comments have come out yet. Probably not, but if not, it's no big deal. We can move on. Uh, yeah, nothing as of yet. So, okay, let me just go into a couple of numbers for this game, and then we'll see about exiting. There we are. Those goals seem so long ago now compared to the Plymouth one. It seemed like a lifetime ago. But this is what I mean. Here we are. That confirms what I was saying earlier. Double figures in the shots, lovely to see. But then it's this here. Got to get more on target. And I think most of those were Rutters going over the bar. In all fairness, but listen, Rutter, absolutely beautiful, creative player. So not too much on Jorginho. Pass accuracy, yeah. Passes, yeah. Of course, we outdid him with the passes. Yellow cards, 4 for them, 1 for us. Yeah, pretty even on corners, which it shouldn't be, but that's what happens when you don't put these teams away properly. But listen, we got the 3 points in the end, people. Oh man, people still going with man of the match shouts. Okay, let me just whiz through a couple. Yeah, James is saying Rodon or Kamara, having some joint awards here. Either Kamara or Rodon is fine. Yeah. Bob's here saying international break now and at last one till March. Yeah, I know it sucks, Bob's. I was hoping. I know. Remember before I said that the one before was the last one. I completely forgot about the November one, which is silly of me. But yeah, it will be good to have football going, all systems go, especially in the form we're in. It's a shame that we've got another break, but at least now, in another way, it allows other players to get back and get fit, make the team even stronger than it is right now. And it's strong enough, but make it even better. Get all the chinks out the armor. And I think we can go on an even bigger run. I mean, looking at the table now, look at this. How good does that look? I know there's one loss in there, 4 wins out of 5. This is the kind of form that we need to do in order to penetrate and get in this top 2. And we're more than capable of doing it, people. More than capable. Awesome voice. Are you going to try your Farker impression before you wrap up? No, not today. No, I'm going to leave that one alone today. I don't think it's not going very well. No, I think I'm going to leave that one. Yeah, me too, Ian. Can't wait to see Spence too. Yeah, looks good to me, and it's only going to get better. Look, we could be in the top 2 now and eventually fall out. Hey, let's see what we can do as we're chasing the pack. Let's see what we're doing in this way. Slow and steady might win the race. And I think that could be the case. Before I go, let me just see this here. Yeah, done that one. So many tabs open, people. Yeah, that will do it for today. That will do it for today. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be live. I know I've done a lot of recorded videos lately, and shout out to everyone that is watching those. I did have something planned for the international break, but unfortunately, it's been delayed, I should say. Had something else that was cancelled as well earlier this week, and yeah, it's been a rough one, people. I'm not gonna lie. It's not just the things that you see in front of the camera here with me talking to you and doing all that. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And it's like when it doesn't come off, especially when you've had a few disappointment, it can get a little draining. But listen, we keep going, man. Keep positive. It's gonna happen eventually, kind of thing. And once it does, I will let you know, of course. But listen, people, I'm going to leave it there. Please hit a like before you go. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.